Welcome back. It's been over 2 years since I chatted to you on this channel, and sorry about that, but due to our government's stellar track record in managing the economy, I still have the same bike. So, not much to talk about on the bike front. Just to say it's a 21 gas EC300, well over 200 hours in some really rough conditions. Nothing bad to say about it. Best bike I've ever owned by a country mile. If ever you were doubtful about getting a gas, don't just go out and buy it and start having some fun. I want to talk about something tonight, literally 3 quick tips that are going to help dramatically reduce arm pump. It's something that we all know and have experienced and felt. There are many potential cures, from diet to rest to exercises, and I can tell you all of them may have their merits. I'm not going to discredit them, but they will not be as quick as the fixes I'm going to get you right now. And it's very simple. It's all to do with your positioning on the bike and how hard you're hanging onto the handlebars, right? That makes the absolute difference here. I want to show you something that is critical around how you position both your brake and your clutch lever. And I want you to do this exercise for yourself. I want you to put your arm out like as if you were riding. I want you to have your wrist in a dead straight ahead position, not canted up or down. I want you to ball your fist like you're holding onto a bar. You can see you already tense up this muscle here. And now I want you to pull the brake. And just feel with your other hand what's happening here. There's not a hell of a lot of difference from holding the bar to operating the brake. It's all the same sort of muscles. Nothing much is going on here. I want you to do the same exercise now with your wrist canted, as if your brake lever were up higher. You can see immediately this muscle has popped up here because I'm putting tension on it. Feel it again. Now pull, and you can start feeling all the work that's being done down here, and this muscle is now tense. So you're just engaging more muscles. You're putting more tension and stress. Exactly the same thing happens if you go to a wrist down scenario. You're tensing up the bottom here. Now you pull and you're doing more work. You can actually literally feel it if you do this exercise. So it's very important your levers are in the right place so as not to introduce any additional stress when you're already hanging onto the bars. That's a different position for all of us. The important thing is that you should try and keep this section and your wrist straight. If you're on an enduro bike and if you're riding properly, that means you should probably be standing, which means the lever should probably be slightly down of the bar. Whatever gives you that straight line, but in my case, it's definitely a little down from the horizontal. And the way I check just to make sure they're at the right place is I put my hand absolutely flat along the bar, and it should meet exactly in the middle of the lever there. That means it's down just a smidgen. And when I'm in my riding position, I'm in a straight wrist position onto that lever. Because you're always riding covered, right? One finger on each, or some of you guys use 2. I just prefer to brake with a 1. So that's a very important thing. Your grip onto the handlebar and where your levers are to relieve stress here. The second is you're holding on too tight because you don't want to fall off the back of the bike. You don't want to lose grip on the bars. You don't want the bars kicked out of your hands. And when you brake hard, you want to brace against something, right? But really, this should not be doing that work. None of your upper body should be doing that work. This should be your solid connection to the bike with your legs. I have a little technique I like to do. Just by the way, these service frame protectors really help with a bit of texture. They help grip the inside of your boot. But we all know we're supposed to be on the balls of our feet, right? So when you put your foot up here, don't just put it up here. I want you to try something, and hopefully this little experiment will work when I do it. Put it up too close. Put it up at a slight angle. If that's the frame rail and this is the peg, don't put your foot in this way. Put it slightly at this angle and then push down with your instep. And if I do this right and I execute it properly, once I do that, something interesting should happen. Not the easiest in slip slops, but we'll give it a bash anyway. Look at this. So that's how I applied my foot. Look where my slip slop is. Still connected to the bike because it's tight. It's in there. You now have a very solid connection. You have your inner boot against this grippy surface, and you are solidly connected to the bike. That's important because you're now connected with your biggest muscle group area and the bike does not want to get away from underneath you either forwards or backwards. The third important tip is your riding position. Everyone's going to talk about the attack position. We know what the attack position is. It's slightly unhinging the hips, bending over slightly forward, slight bend in the knees, and you want a strong position on the arms here. But there's a little tip I'm going to give you to get into that position. So let's hope the bike doesn't fall over when I get on it. But there we go. I've got on, I've put my feet in tight, my legs are close. What you want is for your knees to be pretty much above the balls of your feet. And yet I still see a lot of people either falling backwards when you accelerate or falling forwards when you hit the brakes. This is because your back is round. It's hollowed around like this. So you're in this sort of position. You think you're in the attack position, but you're not really. What you want is to hold your back the other way slightly. So get there, get into position, rotate the hips slightly back, knees over toes, and this is the secret sauce here. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together and bring your sternum forward, like that. You want this chest forward, chest down position. You can see my arms are now quite bent. They're coming in slightly from the side, but I'm incredibly well connected to this bike, which is just about to fall off the stand. But now if I accelerate, I'm connected with my legs. If I brake, my knees are digging in. And you can see, I can go backwards. We can go backwards. I'm barely holding the bar. But I'm not moving on the bike because I'm locked in. This is going to save an incredible amount of effort and energy into your upper body. With the smaller muscles, they're not really designed to do that. These are. You walk on these. They're there to keep you stable, and they exert the most power. So use them. I'm not going to say it's going to cure arm pump TB forever. But what I find is whenever I feel myself suffering from arm pump, I've always forgotten one of these three things. It's the triangle. It's how I'm connected to the bike. I'm either have a lever out of place, I'm gripping the bar too hard, or I'm not connected solidly enough here. And most importantly, I'm rounding out my back rather than keeping the chest down and forward and being in this position. Give it a try. I actually know it's going to work for you, but it takes a little practice because it feels somewhat unnatural the first time you do it. But keep at it. It'll come good, and enjoy your ride.